Throughout history, certain objects have become notorious for their dark and sinister reputations. These haunted artifacts are said to be cursed, possessed, or linked to tragic events, causing misfortune and fear to those who come into contact with them. Today, we delve into the shadowy world of the haunted artifacts you're not allowed to touch. From cursed dolls to bewitched paintings, these are the objects that are kept hidden from the public eye for your safety. Our first artifact is known as the Dybbuk Box, a wine cabinet believed to be possessed by a malevolent spirit. Kevin Mannis, an antique dealer, purchased the Dybbuk Box at an estate sale in 2001. Unbeknownst to him, the box came with a dark history. It had belonged to a Holocaust survivor who claimed it housed a Dybbuk, a restless and malevolent spirit from Jewish folklore. After bringing the box home, Mannis began experiencing strange and terrifying phenomena. He and those around him reported nightmares, unexplained illnesses, and even the smell of jasmine flowers and cat urine. As the haunting intensified, Mannis realized the box needed to be contained. Mannis eventually sold the box, and its subsequent owners also experienced a series of misfortunes. The most famous account comes from Jason Haxton, a museum director who documented his experiences in a book. Haxton described feeling sudden illnesses, hair loss, and strange rashes, along with other unexplained phenomena. Despite attempts to cleanse or seal the box, its malevolent influence persisted. Haxton ultimately decided to lock the box away, hoping to prevent further harm. Today, the Dybbuk Box is kept in Las Vegas, part of the ghost hunter Zach Bagans' Haunted Museum exhibit. Is the Dybbuk Box truly possessed by an evil spirit, or is it simply an object that amplifies our deepest fears? Regardless, its chilling history and the terrifying experiences of its owners ensure that this haunted artifact remains in our mind. Our next artifact is a painting shrouded in mystery and fear, the Anguished Man Painting. Sean Robinson inherited the Anguished Man Painting from his grandmother, who had kept it hidden in her attic for 25 years. She had always warned that the painting was evil, and after inheriting it, Robinson soon discovered why. According to legend, the artist who created the Anguished Man mixed his own blood into the paint before committing suicide shortly after finishing the piece. This macabre origin story is said to have imbued the painting with a dark, malevolent presence. After bringing the painting into his home, Robinson and his family began experiencing a series of disturbing events. They heard strange noises, saw shadowy figures, and felt an oppressive atmosphere in the house. At times, they even witnessed the painting moving on its own. Despite attempts to cleanse the house and the painting, the haunting phenomena continued. Robinson eventually decided to document the occurrences, sharing videos online that captured some of the eerie events. Today, the Anguished Man Painting remains in Robinson's possession, but it is kept hidden away to minimize its influence. The painting's dark history and the terrifying experiences of those who have encountered it make it one of the most feared, haunted artifacts. Is the Anguished Man truly cursed by the spirit of its tormented creator? Or is it simply a conduit for our darkest fears? Whatever the truth, this chilling painting continues to haunt those who dare to look upon it. Would you dare to gaze into the anguished face, knowing the horror it has brought? Or will you leave this haunted painting hidden in the shadows, far from prying eyes? Our next artifact is a series of paintings that have sparked fear and superstition for decades. The Crying Boy paintings. First created by Italian artist Giovanni Bragolin in the 1950s, the Crying Boy paintings depict young children with sorrowful expressions and tears running down their cheeks. These prints became incredibly popular, adorning homes across Britain and beyond. But their popularity soon turned to notoriety. In the 1980s, a series of unexplained house fires were linked to the Crying Boy paintings. Despite the devastation, the paintings were often found unscathed among the ashes. This strange phenomenon led to rumors that the paintings were cursed, bringing misfortune and fire to those who owned them. Firefighters and homeowners alike were baffled by the painting's resilience. Stories circulated of entire homes burning down, leaving the Crying Boy paintings mysteriously untouched. The media fueled the panic, dubbing the paintings cursed and warning people to remove them from their homes. As the fear spread, many owners destroyed their paintings, while others sought to neutralize the curse by giving them away or performing cleansing rituals. Despite these efforts, the legend of the Crying Boy curse persisted, leaving a legacy of fear and superstition. Modern investigations have attempted to debunk the curse, suggesting that the painting's material composition might make them more resistant to fire. However, the eerie stories and unexplained incidents continue to intrigue and terrify those who encounter them. Is the Crying Boy painting truly cursed? Or is it simply a victim of coincidence and superstition? Whatever the truth, these sorrowful portraits have left an indelible mark on the minds of those who believe in their haunting power. Would you dare to hang this painting in your home, knowing the stories of fire and misfortune? You can't have this list without this artifact. Our next artifact is a doll, so infamous it inspired a series of horror films, Annabelle the Doll. Annabelle's story began in the 1970s when a nursing student named Donna received the doll as a gift from her mother. Initially, Annabelle seemed like any other Raggedy Ann doll, but soon, strange and frightening events began to unfold. Donna and her roommate, Angie, noticed that the doll would change positions or even rooms while they were away. They found disturbing notes written on parchment paper saying things like, "Help us," and "Help Lou." The doll's movements in the messages left them terrified. Seeking answers, Donna and Angie contacted a medium who revealed that the doll was possessed by the spirit of a young girl named Annabelle Higgins. However, the situation worsened, prompting them to seek help from renowned paranormal investigators, Ed and Lorraine Warren. The Warrens determined that the doll was not possessed by a benign spirit, but rather a malevolent entity. They recounted the story of Lou, who experienced terrifying visions and physical attacks, including claw-like scratches on his body. The Warrens concluded that the entity's ultimate goal was to possess a human host. To prevent further harm, the Warrens took Annabelle and placed her in their occult museum, where she remains to this day. The doll is kept in a specially built glass case, inscribed with warnings to visitors about the dangers of disturbing her. Visitors to the museum have reported feeling uneasy in Annabelle's presence, and some claim to have experienced bad luck or accidents after interacting with her. The doll's notoriety grew, inspiring a series of horror films that brought her chilling story to a global audience. Is Annabelle truly possessed by a malevolent entity, or is she simply a vessel for our darkest fears? Whatever the truth, this haunted doll remains one of the most infamous and feared artifacts in the world. Our next artifact is a legendary gemstone, reputed to bring misfortune and tragedy to its owners, the Hope Diamond. The Hope Diamond, weighing an impressive 45.52 carats, was originally part of a larger stone known as the Tavernier Blue. This magnificent blue diamond was discovered in the Golconda mines of India and brought to Europe by French gem merchant Jean-Baptiste Tavernier in the 17th century. The diamond changed hands several times, each owner adding to its legendary status. In 1668, King Louis XIV of France purchased the stone and had it recut, renaming it the Blue Diamond of the Crown. However, tragedy seemed to follow its path. During the French Revolution, the diamond was stolen, disappearing for several decades. It resurfaced in 1839 in the possession of British banker Henry Philip Hope, from whom it takes its current name. The Hope family, too, experienced financial ruin and misfortune, adding to the diamond's cursed reputation. Perhaps the most famous owner was American socialite Evelyn Walsh McLean, who acquired the diamond in 1911. Despite its beauty, the Hope diamond seemed to bring only sorrow. McLean suffered numerous personal tragedies, including the deaths of her son and daughter and her own descent into financial ruin. Today, the Hope diamond resides in the Smithsonian Institution's National Museum of Natural History in Washington, D.C. Despite its dark history, it remains one of the most popular and captivating exhibits. Drawing millions of visitors each year, scientists and gemologists have studied the diamond extensively, marveling at its rare blue color and remarkable size. While many believe the curse is merely a legend, the tales of misfortune surrounding the Hope diamond continue to intrigue and mystify. Our next artifact is an unassuming piece of furniture with a deadly reputation, the Busby Stoop chair. The story of the Busby Stoop chair begins in the late 17th century in the village of Thirsk, England. Thomas Busby, a local thug and drunkard, was sentenced to death for the murder of his father-in-law, Daniel Aoti. On the day of his execution in 1702, Busby's final request was to have a last drink at his favorite pub, sitting in his favorite chair. According to legend, as Busby sat in the chair, he cursed it, declaring that anyone who sat in it would meet an untimely death. Shortly after his execution, the chair began to live up to its dark reputation. Over the centuries, numerous people who sat in the chair reportedly met with fatal accidents, mysterious illnesses, or sudden deaths. The chair's reputation grew, and it became known as the dead man's chair. Despite the warnings, some dared to sit in the chair, only to suffer tragic fates soon after. During World War II, airmen from a nearby base who sat in the chair never returned from their missions. In the 1970s, after a series of fatal accidents involving those who had dared to sit in it, the pub owner decided to take action. To prevent further tragedies, the chair was donated to the Thirsk Museum, where it was hung high on a wall to ensure no one could sit in it again. The museum staff took extreme precautions to avoid any contact with the cursed chair. Is the Busby Stoop chair truly cursed, or is it simply a tale born from coincidence and superstition? Regardless of the truth, the chair's deadly reputation has made it one of the most feared artifacts in history. Would you dare to sit in this cursed chair, knowing the fate that befell others? Or will you heed the warnings and keep your distance from the Busby Stoop chair? Our next artifact is an object of reflection and horror, the cursed mirror of Myrtle's Plantation. Myrtle's Plantation is often regarded as one of the most haunted houses in America. Built in 1796, this historic mansion is home to numerous ghost stories and unexplained phenomena. Among its many haunted artifacts, one item stands out: the cursed mirror. Legend has it that the mirror became cursed after the murder of Sarah Woodruff and her 2 children in the early 19th century. According to the story, their spirits were trapped in the mirror because it was not covered during their funeral, as was customary to prevent souls from being caught in reflective surfaces. Since that tragic event, Visitors and residents of Myrtle's Plantation have reported seeing ghostly figures, including Sarah and her children, within the mirror's reflection. Some have claimed to see handprints appear on the glass, while others have witnessed apparitions moving behind them when they look into the mirror. Paranormal investigators who have examined the mirror have documented numerous strange occurrences, from inexplicable cold spots around the mirror to disembodied voices and eerie reflections. These reports have only added to the mirror's sinister reputation. Today, the cursed mirror remains a focal point of the haunted tours at Myrtle's Plantation. Visitors are drawn to its dark allure, hoping to catch a glimpse of the spirits said to be trapped within its reflective surface. Is the mirror truly a portal to the afterlife? Or is it simply an object that fuels our deepest fears and imaginations? Whatever the case, the cursed mirror of Myrtle's Plantation continues to captivate and terrify those who dare to look into its depths. Would you dare to gaze into this haunted mirror, knowing the spirits that might be staring back? Or will you let the cursed mirror keep its secrets hidden within the haunted halls of Myrtle's Plantation? This one is another classic artifact that I couldn't leave out of this video. Our next artifact is a doll with a chilling and sinister reputation, Robert the Doll. Robert the Doll was originally given to a young boy named Robert Eugene Otto in the early 1900s. The doll, dressed in a sailor suit and clutching a small stuffed lion, quickly became Eugene's constant companion. However, it wasn't long before strange and inexplicable events began to occur. According to family and friends, Eugene would often be heard having conversations with the doll, responding to a voice that was distinctly different from his own. The Otto family reported that Robert the Doll would move on his own, change expressions, and even cause household items to be mysteriously broken. As Eugene grew older, the doll's presence remained unsettling. Neighbors claimed to see the doll moving from window to window when the family was not home. Servants reported strange occurrences and refused to enter the room where Robert was kept. After Eugene's death in 1974, the new owners of the Otto home also reported disturbing encounters with the doll. Eventually, Robert was donated to the Fort East Martello Museum in Key West, where he remains today. Robert the Doll is now displayed in a glass case, surrounded by letters from previous visitors who believe they have been cursed by the doll after disrespecting him. These letters beg for forgiveness, hoping to reverse the misfortune they believe Robert has caused. Museum staff and visitors continue to report strange occurrences, from flickering lights to electronic devices malfunctioning in Robert's presence. His reputation as a cursed doll has only grown over the years, drawing curious and brave souls to witness his unsettling gaze. Is Robert the Doll truly cursed, or is he merely the focus of our fears and imaginations? Whatever the truth, his legend endures, captivating and haunting those who encounter him. These haunted artifacts have captivated our imaginations, sparked fear, and stirred our deepest curiosities. From cursed dolls and bewitched paintings to ominous mirrors and legendary gemstones, each of these objects carries a dark and sinister legacy. Researching these haunted artifacts has been a journey into the macabre and the mysterious. Each story left me with a sense of unease, a feeling that perhaps some things are meant to remain hidden. The accounts of misfortune and unexplained phenomena were not just chilling tales, but reminders of how the unknown can deeply affect our lives. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the shadows of the paranormal. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated with more stories from the dark corners of history. And remember, some things are better left unseen. Good night.